us up here on Capitol Hill believe that
Hi guys, welcome back to Xcom Enemy Within.
to get his motor running, but then it wears off.
She's just loading it up right now.
When he's having to actually answer questions and actually tell the truth
Okay.
to Mr. Hur, the special prosecutor in this situation. Also, in the transcript, there were times where the White House would put down inaudible because it wasn't really clear what the president was saying. So we want to be able to hear the audio recordings to then use that to go back to the transcript that was provided by the White House.
Right? I mean, Congressman, in a letter to the Oversight Committee, which you sit on, Biden's White House counsel said, the absence of a legitimate need for the audio recordings lays bare your likely goal to chop them up, distort them, and use them for partisan political purposes, demanding such sensitive and constitutionally protected law enforcement materials because you want to manipulate them for potential political gain is inappropriate. Congressman, is there not a legitimate right for the public to know what their president sounds like when asked simple questions about classified documents that he had stored in random boxes in his garage? How is that not a legitimate right to know for the public?
The public does have a right to know. We should be getting that information for the American people, especially considering the fact that Joe Biden had those documents from when he was vice president of the United States, when he was a United States senator, which is a violation of the statute dealing with classified information. That's a clear violation. He had no rights to those documents. Secondarily, what is also clear is that you had White House employees go over to the Penn Biden Center months before they miraculously said, oh my gosh, we might have found documents too. This is another cover-up, in my view, by the White House counsel and frankly Merrick Garland for Joe Biden. That's why we need to get to the bottom of this. Joe Biden, if he had nothing to hide, if everything was on the up and up, if he simply just forgot about a couple of files, then why not release the audio file so we can actually hear the president go through this piece by piece?
I think he sounds probably really confused in the answers. That's my estimation of what's going on. It's more he's confused potentially in this recording, and I think it would sound probably terrible. Otherwise, I'd be like, yeah, release it. Congressman, thank you. Now, the Biden administration, very tight-lipped about an attempt to infiltrate a military base. We have the details, though, next.
Can Nariva support your brain health?
Hey, Janet, hey.
Eddie, Bill, Fraser, Frank. Frank?
Brad, how are you?
Brad.
View up to 7 brain health indicators, including your memory. Join the Nariva Brain Health Challenge.
This is our last chance to help save thousands of Holocaust survivors who are suffering in the former Soviet Union today. The needs that these forgotten Jews have are something beyond anything you can imagine.
Have you eaten this morning?
I ate the carrot, so I ate half of it yesterday, and I had it today for breakfast. And this is what she ate in 2 days, 1 carrot. Please pray for me.
The International Fellowship of Christians and Jews began this ministry to help elderly Jews living in horrible poverty around the world. We urgently need your gift of $25 now to help provide one survival food box with all of the foods they critically need for their diet for 1 month.
It breaks my heart to know that there are Holocaust survivors who suffer to this very day. It's not only the painful memories of lost loved ones, but now with pensions of less than $2 per day, they live in some of the poorest conditions imaginable.
I believe in God, but I sometimes feel maybe He forgot me. Perhaps you could tell my story, and I would find a matching soul that would understand. I face hunger again.
Please don't delay. Call, scan, or go online now to help rush one survival food box to a Holocaust survivor who is suffering and in desperate need.
This is what God wants from us. Just feed the hungry. If you hear God's voice, I'm asking you to act now. Do it when it's hard. Pray that they'll know in their final months that they're not alone.
There's a power within each of us. When awakened, it can boost performance, enhance learning, even help you work smarter. And you can unlock it with one simple thing: better sleep. Safa provides that with our luxury mattresses, handcrafted with premium materials in our American factories. We even deliver to any room in your home for free. Safa, you deserve the comfort of a great night's sleep.
Did you know that only 1 in 10 Americans consume adequate amounts of fruits and vegetables? AG1 fills nutritional gaps and promotes gut health with essential vitamins and minerals, free in probiotics and superfoods. Supporting your health doesn't need to be complicated. Try AG1 today.
Tonight,
When your star witness is a rat who lies for cheese, you know your case is figuring out.
Jesse covers the latest in the Trump trial on a must-see primetime.
Time for war. Time for doubters.
When it comes to drugs, how much freedom is too much for kids? Drugs are out there. Will my team feel free to say no around other kids? I didn't live drug-free when I was younger. Did I admit that to my kids? Drugs worry me, but how can I feel free to talk about it with my kids?
Questions about drugs and kids? Call or chat to get real-time support.
I want to talk to you about something needs to work.
I've been asked to interview the executive position.
Let's get at it. See the thing is moving on.
You must be Gordon.
Your latest bed? Well, I actually don't follow much. I love these. I read that you were the movie used to be. Because I don't do anything right. Unlike Luke, I'm not giving up that.
You legs for it out?
I got fish!
A disturbing story that's gotten very little coverage by the press. 2 Jordanian nationals tried forcing their way onto the Marine Corps base at Quantico, and they were arrested. Fox National correspondent Griff Jenkins is here with all the details. Griff.
Yeah, Laura, good evening. And it's shocking the story hasn't gotten more attention because, for context, Quantico is one of the nation's most sensitive bases in the nation, Laura. It houses not only the Marines Combat Development Command, but also the FBI Academy, NCIS, and various defense intel agencies. Here's what we've confirmed. The 2 Jordanian nationals were in a box truck. They attempted to breach Quantico back on May 3rd. At the gate, the driver ignored directions to stop. Vehicle denial barriers had to be deployed to halt the truck. The 2 men were detained and turned over to ICE. No weapons were found in the vehicle. Now, a base spokesperson says the men told officers they were working for an Amazon subcontractor, and Amazon does not confirm that to Fox. I asked the ICE director about it today. Here's what he had to say.
Well, we currently have them in custody, and they're currently going through removal proceedings.
Were they illegally in the country?
I can tell you they are amenable to removal, and they're in proceedings for that.
Some reporting was that one of them had hit the TSDS, the terror screening database. Can you shed any light on that?
Yeah, I can't confirm anything like that right now.
But Laura, when the White House and the Pentagon were asked about it today, they had nothing to share, nothing to offer about it. And a lot of questions are still out there, which is whether they were here illegally in the U.S. and whether they posed a national security risk. DHS and ICE not responded to our inquiries. Laura?
Griff, wild. Thank you so much. All right, joining me now, Stephen Miller, former senior advisor to President Trump, founder of America First Legal. Stephen, now this happened, as Griff said, nearly 2 weeks ago. We're just finding out about it now. So why was this kept hidden?
Well, I'm sure that it was kept hidden because it represents a massive failure by this administration to secure our immigration system. No matter what facts ultimately emerge, Laura, what we know already is more than alarming enough. You have 2 non-citizen Jordanian nationals, and to use ICE speak, they're amenable to removal. That means they are people with either limited or no status here at all. that their fundamental citizenship status is that they are Jordanian, not American, who managed to drive a truck into a secure facility in Quantico. Anybody who's worked in D.C., worked around government knows that many of our nation's most important law enforcement training, military training, officer training, counterintelligence operations are run out of Quantico. In fact, the president's helicopter, HMX, Marine One, where's that based? Quantico. So this is an incredibly disturbing, shocking situation. And the fact that the administration cannot release two full weeks later details about when the aliens entered the country, in what status, if they fell out of status, why ICE took no action up until this point of time, all of it underscores the environment in which we are living, which is total migrant chaos.
Well, and we think about the Chinese nationals who are here. Tens of thousands of military-age Chinese men. Many of them flew into Colombia, we understand, in South America, made their way up from South America to Mexico. Not sure what they're doing here, as well as tens of thousands from the Middle East as well. Jordan, just one country that we can say because the officials in the Biden administration had to confirm it. And this is like a ticking time bomb here, all courtesy of Joe Biden's open border policies.
Yes, in addition to the free and unrestricted entry of foreign terrorists into the country, in other words, for everyone that is apprehended, you have an unknown number that has successfully evaded apprehension entirely. We know a record number of gotaways that entered over the last 3 years in a massive record number. It's not even close to previous levels. But then on top of that, as you mentioned, you have individuals from adversarial nations like Iran and China entering in unprecedentedly large numbers. Many of them are no doubt spies, many of them are no doubt committing espionage in the United States, all of which is inflicted by Joe Biden onto America. This is Joe Biden by choice this onto America.
Pay attention, voters. This is your country. At least it still is. We're hanging on by a thread here. Stephen, thank you. Why is Biden so willing suddenly to debate? Our next guest is a theory. You're going to want to hear it. Vivek Ramaswamy. He's next.
The people you know, the voices you trust. All new Fox Nation exclusives available now.
My dad spent 2 combat pilot tours in the Vietnam War, so I come back to retrace his most important steps. I went to Vietnam to learn more about it. That was a big deal. And what it meant to serve this great country. Dad, you were always with me.
Vietnam, footsteps of my father with Harris Faulkner. Fox Nation would like to thank active military and veterans this Memorial Day. Sign up and get your first year free.
At Biz2 Credit, we know nothing ruins a business owner's day like an expense you didn't expect. With funding you can count on, Biz2 Credit makes it simple and convenient to solve the problems you didn't see coming. So when your business throws you a surprise, don't throw in the towel. Biz2 Credit helps you get business funding to fight the unexpected. When trouble brews, Biz2 Credit is the solution. Biz2 Credit. Funding what's next.
When it comes to losing weight, everything you need, everything you want, everything in one plan is here. New Nutrisystem Complete. It's the complete package that you asked for and Nutrisystem delivered. With everything you need to lose weight and get healthy, like the millions before you, at one low price. You get the easy-to-use Noomi app, all the live coaching you need, and the best part of losing weight with Nutrisystem, the food. Call or go online to find out more about the new Nutrisystem Complete.
When I started MyPillow, it was just a problem-solution, one-product company. Well, since then, with the help of my dedicated employees, we now have hundreds of products, some you might not even know about. To get the word out, we're having a $25 extravaganza. 2-pack multi-use MyPillows, $25. MyPillow sandals, $25. And for the first time ever, our 6-pack towel sets, you guessed it, just $25. Our brand new 4-pack dish towels, $25. And I've never done this before. Premium MyPillows with all new pieces of fabric, any size, any block level, even king size for only $25. And there's so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code for our $25 extravaganza. Order $75 and over, your entire order ships absolutely free.
48% of Americans don't get enough magnesium, which is vital for bone, nerve, and muscle health. I recommend Qunol's extra strength high absorption magnesium. It gives you 100% of the daily value of magnesium. Qunol, the brand I trust.
Now, ADT professionally installs Google Nest products. Cool. You all set? Our in the system. With the most trusted name in home security as the intelligence of Google, you have a home with no worries. Brought to you by ADT.
Do you need more space? You need a General Steel building system. Text BIG to 59583 to start designing your customized space. That's BIG to 59583 for same-day pricing on your personalized steel building system. Text BIG to 59583 before prices go up.
Ego, the #1 rated brand in cordless outdoor power, brings you the Ego Power Plus string trimmer with power load technology. Lead the line, push the button, and get back to work. Ego, exclusively Lowe's, Ace, and Ego authorized dealers.
I don't expect to look 38 at 58, but I do want to feel great. And I want to look great.
CeraVital is an award-winning beauty supplement at Ulta. Get started today at tryceravital.com.
There's news. And there's good news. Like thousands of patients receiving free, life-changing surgeries. From volunteer doctors and nurses on hospital ships. All made possible by donations. We love good news.
My back got injured very bad. I was off work for about a year. I heard about Relief Factor from my wife. I took it every day, 3 times a day for 3 weeks. Look at her and I said, the pain is gone. And she said, I'm glad it helped. I said, no, you don't understand. It's gone.
You too can feel better every day with Relief Factor, a daily supplement that fights pain naturally. Call or go online now and get 35% off your first order.
The cross-examination of Michael Cohen is set to continue. Biden may have been trying to call Trump's bluff, but Trump said yes, and here we are.
With diplomatic efforts to end the war unsuccessful, airstrikes continue.
Only on Fox News Channel.
This morning, President Biden came out swinging State of the Union style. Epic troll. You can see for yourself, he came out swinging this trolling of Donald Trump, saying, here, you're free on Wednesdays.
The president wants to debate. He's a very competitive, locker room, like old school athlete who wants to debate his rival.
Come on, Jeff, you're smarter than that. Literally no one on God's green earth thinks of Joe Biden as an athlete in his prime. These people have lost their minds. Joining me now, Vivek Ramaswamy, former 2024 Republican presidential candidate, saw him in court on Tuesday. Vivek, you say this might be a setup. Why?
I believe it is a setup, Laura, and here's how it's working. Why did Biden pull this 180 all of a sudden, and why did the Democrats let him do it? Let's put together some facts here. On one hand, CNN is hosting it. They're going to prop up Biden, try to make him look as good as possible. But also note, this is the earliest ever presidential debate in recorded American history, in June. Why is that? This is a Hail Mary attempt for Biden, as his numbers are tanking. This is their last chance to give him a desperate attempt to succeed. And if he doesn't, as I expect will be the case, that gives them enough time to swap out somebody else for the nomination. That's what's going on. Set him up for the best possible look you can give him. It's not a neutral forum. It's CNN. Do the 180 as he's tanking. But if he fails, they have enough time to prop up a new puppet. That's what I think is going on.
So Biden is his own trial balloon. He's been around for like 50 years, and they're still auditioning him. That's pretty funny.
I think it's going to be an extraordinary way for him to go out in style. I do not think that even with that tipped hand moderator, I would have said pick a left of center network and a right of center network to do it together. But you're going to have a left of center network, CNN doing it. They're going to try their best to make Biden look good. I think they're going to fail, and they're going to fail miserably. And after that comes the red carpet for whoever substitutes Biden after that.
Trump, all he needs to do, Vivek, is to be cool. Because Biden is going to throw insults at him. The only thing he can do is try to bait him. Bait Trump, get him into a mudslinging contest where he loses it. That's what they're going to try to do. If Trump does a Reagan and just has the equivalent of there you go again, he'll win it by, hands down.
Having spent a lot of time with President Trump, I think that he is a further place than he was. He's been the president already. I think he is more than ready for this. The record speaks for itself. It's a rare opportunity to compare 4 years of Trump to 4 years of Biden. Donald Trump, they put him through everything. They put him through this trial, countless others they're trying to put him through. This is going to be the least of his concerns. I'm confident he's going to come out shining. But my concern, Laura, is that this is in June and it's early. It's part of a broader plot for a replacement plan they have in the works.
Well, if what they have is Gretchen Witless Whitmer and not having Gavin Newsom, then good luck. All I could say is good luck. I don't think that's going to work. Vivek, it was great to see you the other day, and come back soon. Thanks so much. All right. We have a lot to cover tomorrow night. The trial will continue next week. Tomorrow is Barron's graduation. Happy graduation, Baron. But we'll be back on Monday, and we'll be covering it then. Remember, it is America, now and forever. Jesse Waters, primetime, next.
Welcome to Jesse Waters Primetime. Tonight,
Do I think that Donald Trump is insane? Has the guy gone crazy? I believe that Donald Trump has actually lost his.
Michael Cohen, cross-examined and destroyed.
Michael Cohen was cornered in what appeared to be a lie. Biden and Trump will meet June 27th on CNN, and one of Biden's debate conditions was not having an audience. So that explains why it's on CNN.
Will Trump demand a drug test before the debate?
He's done some kind of an enhancement, in my opinion.
These police officers out here today, that's thousands of student scholarships. What job do I have if the students don't have a future?
Happy DEI Thursday. Plus,
You're okay with paying the bill for that?
Absolutely. Want to go to lunch?
it's day 18 of the trial for a crime the Democrats still haven't named. Michael Cohen suffering under a blistering cross-examination today. And oh boy, did he fall apart. The prosecution's entire case rested on one phone call that Michael Cohen says took place. Cohen testified that he called Trump's head of security and told him that the Stormy payment was taken care of. That was the big link between Trump and the money. Today it came out the call never happened. Trump's defense lawyers showed Cohen a sheet of text messages on the night he claims he made that call. Turns out, Cohen had been getting prank calls from a 14-year-old and called Trump's security chief to ask if he could stick the Secret Service on him. Trump's defense attorney raising his voice, zeroing in on Cohen. That was a lie. You did not talk to President Trump. Cohen panicked, shifted in his seat, voice cracking. I'm not certain that's accurate, but the call logs don't lie. It was a Perry Mason moment. Sources inside the courtroom tell us the entire jury's jaw hit the floor. And never Trump or George Conway put his hands to his face, stared at the ceiling. CNN couldn't believe it.
Michael Cohen was cornered in what appeared to be a lie.
I don't think I've ever seen a star cooperating witness get his knees chopped out quite as clearly and dramatically as what just happened with Michael Cohen.
This does seem pretty bad.
This does seem, I feel like there are a lot of questions that have been raised.
I think if I was a juror in this case, watching that, I would think this guy's making this up as he's going along.
Donald Trump called it fascinating.
I think it was a very interesting day. It was a fascinating day. And it shows what a scam this whole thing is. I'm spending a lot of time and I'm spending a lot of money, which is what they want. They want me to spend my time and my money. And I'm willing to do it because ultimately we have to fight for the Constitution.
The entire testimony was a disaster. Trump's lawyer played for the jury. Michael Cohen sounding like a lunatic on his podcasts. A very different Michael Cohen from what the jury had seen inside of court.
I truly hope that this man ends up in prison. It won't bring back the year that I lost or the damage done to my family. But revenge is a dish best served cold. And you better believe I want this man to go down and rot inside for what he did to me and my family. He is about to get a taste of what I went through. And I promise you, it's not fun.
Jurors peered up at Cohen while the tape played. They were embarrassed for him. Cohen looked down at the ground, also embarrassed. Imagine being a juror, listen, and realize you just spent your whole month away from work, away from your family, to listen to a case in which the star witness is exposed as a fanatic, seeking revenge on the defendant. The defense called Cohen in lie after lie.
I knew that would happen.
The lawyer says, "Did you ever ask for a pardon?" Cohen says no. Then the lawyer pulled out a deposition where Cohen asked for a pardon.
It's all right. We'll save Xcom.
Shakes their head. The defense painted a picture of a jilted lawyer who'd been passed over for White House chief of staff and who even had a hard time getting tickets to the inauguration. Cohen was suicidal and was forced to admit under oath that he had a vendetta against Trump. If you're a juror and you hear the star witness say that, not good. Michael Cohen's former lawyer told Fox this morning that Cohen said he never had anything on Trump, which would make sense because if Cohen did have dirt on Donald, he would have handed it to the feds on a silver platter to stay out of prison.
Besides making that statement, I swear to God, I don't have anything on Donald Trump, he also said more times than that answer, guys, I want you to understand, I will do whatever I have to do. I will never spend a day in jail. And then he'd slam his hand on the conference room table. But what does that mean to you? That means this guy is saying, I will lie, cheat, steal, do whatever I have to do. I'm not going to jail.
As Johnny Cochran said, if it doesn't fit, you must acquit. And nothing here seems to fit. Bragg's whole case is hanging on a liar, a phone call that never happened, and a crime that no one can name. Bragg hasn't offered any proof that this payment was a campaign finance violation, that Trump knew or believed it was a campaign finance violation, and that he willfully falsified business records to cover it up. How do you cover up a crime that doesn't exist? Fox News legal editor Harry Kupek, her mom. All right, Ms. Orban. What was it like in the courtroom today when that moment came where that phone call maybe didn't happen?
It was a little bit like my cousin Vinny.
Yeah.
Yeah, and very intense. Everyone was paying very close attention. Cohen was uncomfortable. And, just for Tom Blanche, Donald Trump's lawyer to say, "You lied, didn't you?" It was quite a moment. It was made for TV in a lot of ways. But what was interesting about those text messages that we all looked at, and this was part of his case as to why Trump never didn't have this phone call with, Cohen didn't have a phone call with Trump, is that this 14-year-old who was apparently pranking Michael Cohen was bullying him back. It was unbelievable. This kid started begging, "Please don't tell my parents, please don't call the Secret Service," and in all caps begging it. And he's like, "Give me, your parents' number, your guardian's number." He was relentless. And the kid was apologizing, saying he was sorry, didn't realize what he was doing. And so he was even after him.
He's an unhinged monster that calls the Secret Service on a prank phone call from a 14-year-old. When the jury hears that, do you just see them putting their hands and just covering their eyes?
Well, yeah, because they put the text messages up in front of us, and I'm thinking, this guy is a psycho. Where we first heard the audio where he's, screaming like a lunatic, like a used car salesman, gleefully anticipating Donald Trump going to jail. We're watching him on these text messages bully this 14-year-old kid. Then it turns out that phone call may never even have happened, which the case, the state's case really hinges on that in a lot of ways.
What was the state doing when this whole thing was happening? Was Bragg looking for food in his bag and just eating his feelings away? What was he saying?
The state was objecting a lot.
Objecting.
They were objecting a lot because it was one part of it, at certain points it was a little hard to follow. But then I realized it's because we're going through lie after lie after lie, inconsistent statement, galore. And so after a while, you're thinking, okay, which lie was this? I have to remember where we're at this point. What year was this lie? That's really how it felt.
All right, so they're losing track of lies. They're piling so high. There's today, I think, you're going to be off tomorrow because of the graduation.
Right.
Back on Monday. You're going to finish them off possibly on Monday? Maybe one last bite?
Maybe. It's an open question as to whether the former president is going to testify. Of course, if you were to do that, which I would not recommend, that would change the schedule. But right now, it looks like the evidence can be presented in full. The case is rested on Monday. Maybe it goes for jury on Tuesday. Maybe we get a verdict on Thursday.
Wow. You hear that?
That's aggressive.
A Thursday verdict prediction.
Aggressive.
All right. Thank you so much, Carrie. Come on. The former president didn't show up to court alone this morning. Came with a posse, and the posse's getting bigger.
This is a made-up crime. No other American in the country would be charged with this type of crime. It's like the Mr. Potato Head doll of crimes, where they had to stick together a bunch of things that did not belong together.
We have a judge whose daughter is making money. We have a judge whose family is enriching themselves on what's happening today. Any judge worth their salt would have recused themselves.
It is corrupt lawfare. It's the Biden prosecution, and Biden, you're gonna lose the election cycle.
Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna was in the courtroom, and she joins me now. All right, Congresswoman, so you've heard everything about this case. Today you were there for the first time. What was it like?
You know, interestingly enough, when Cohen started to be asked on whether or not he thought that New York had a corrupt judicial system, he actually had his own quotes used against him. And Judge Michon actually was sitting there uncomfortably moving in his seat. You know, Jesse, we found out just today, just to put it in perspective, about how swampy, how stacked against the odds, how swampy this entire Biden trial is, because that's really what it is. We found out that Representative Goldman, who actually sits with me on House Oversight as a Democrat, not only prepared Cohen for the testimony today, but he's also a client of the judge's daughter at the same firm that fundraises for Kamala Harris. So when I say that this is incestual, and when I say that we are exposing them for everything that they are, which is a complete sham, I mean it. And that although the president may not be able to speak on behalf of this trial, I can. And what I can tell the American people is the president isn't fighting spirits. He knows that he's going to win. The jurors sat there and shook their heads every single time, all 4 times that Cohen admitted that he lied to members of Congress. So to put it in perspective, I think that their trial is falling apart again.
So the jury's shaking their head, and even the judge, you say, was shifting in his seat because they played some sound of Cohen trashing judges, trashing the New York judicial system, and the judge is sitting right there?
Correct. In fact, he got uncomfortable. You could see his body language shifting. And really, you saw the juror's face in realizing that, look, if Cohen is saying this, who's a known liar, what we can tell you is it's not by any chance or circumstance that this same judge, Judge Mahan, is also overseeing the Steve Bannon trial. I mean, look how many judges they have that are sitting on the bench, and all of a sudden this judge just so happens to take all of these cases tied to Trump. It's a sham, but what I am happy to say is that the media is forced to cover this. The president has a great team representing him, and members of Congress aren't just going to sit by and let them lie about the president. They try to control the narrative. They're trying to keep cameras
Took a 7 hit on that.
in the courtroom so that the American people don't see what's happening, but we're going to share those facts with you guys.
It's good that you guys showed up. I expected more members of Congress, the Senate maybe, to show up, and I'm sure the president appreciated the support. Did you get a chance to say hi?
Most certainly. In fact, we were with him not just at Trump Tower, but we actually rode in a motorcade with him over to the courtroom. We were behind the scenes with him, and then also just happened to vote on contempt for Merrick Garland tonight. But Representative Gates stayed with him. He's in great spirits, but I mean, the fact that they are doing this, you know, I'm getting frustrated with Congress because I don't want to just do messaging bills.
Yeah, I think we're all frustrated with Congress. Not you specifically, but maybe some others or as a body. Thank you so much, Congresswoman.
Thanks.
Co-host of the 5, Judge Jeanine Pirro is here. All right, Judge, you're batting cleanup. Anything you've heard today so far that you think you might want to weigh in on?
I think that one of the most significant things that happened today is what everyone's been talking about, and that is when Michael Cohen says he called Keith Schiller, the former president's bodyguard, to speak to the president, right? Except we know from text messages and other information that he was actually in communication with Keith Schiller at exactly that time about a 14-year-old boy who was bothering him. Here's my concern. Now, when the defense attorney, when Blanche says, isn't it the fact that you were lying about that? He said, no, I spoke to Donald Trump and told him I had the Stormy Daniels thing done. It was a done deal. The problem is, if he didn't have that information of those text messages, and the prosecutor knew that that information was coming out, was the prosecutor suborning perjury? Was the Manhattan DA's office suborning perjury, allowing Michael Cohen to get on the stand and say during those 96 seconds that he was speaking to the president about Stormy Daniels, when in truth, all of the evidence that you interlace, the text messages show he was talking to Keith Schiller about this 14-year-old.
So does it mean that the prosecution maybe thought that this wasn't going to come out.
Yeah.
And that they just hung this guy out to dry, hoping on cross it wouldn't come up.
Well,
and then bang, he just perjured himself.
I wouldn't go so far as to say they were hanging him out to dry. They were
They were pushing him out, right?
Yeah, go out there. Let's make sure that we convict Donald Trump.
And that speaks to the corruption of the prosecution.
Look, do I have to say more? They have a case that is beyond the statute of limitations. They have come to the end of their case. They have not proved a prima facie case. Any defense attorney worth his or her salt would stand up and say, Your Honor, I would request a directed verdict of not guilty based upon the lack of evidence. Has anyone out there, ask yourself, has anyone heard any evidence that Donald Trump had anything to do with the bookkeeping of the books in the Trump administration, and that he was directing how Michael Cohen be paid? No. We know from all of the witnesses that Donald Trump would just sign checks that came from New York because he was running the country and the Trump organization.
How many billion-dollar CEOs are marking their books every quarter?
Yeah.
No one does that if they're the president.
It was going to Michael Cohen, but the president is not a bookkeeper. Right. Not a bookkeeper. Here's the bottom line. We don't even know what the crime is that they're alleging that bootstraps this into a felony. And at the end of the day, everyone on the prosecution case helped the president. They all said that he was concerned about Melania, he was a great boss, and this guy's a dirtbag.
You know what else we don't know? What prima facie means.
That is evidence.
I'm speaking for myself.
On its face, a proof of a crime. They haven't even made the fundamental first hurdle.
All right, I need a dictionary when Judge comes on the show. Okay. Thank you very much, Judge Beer. We'll see you tomorrow on the 5.
I will be there.
You better.
Okay. And then where are we going after that?
We're going to a party.
Yeah.
We're not going to tell you where.
No.
Too many men. Johnny, Mr. Manners.
Why do men hold the door open for women?
Let's look at their eyes.
COPD hasn't been pretty. It's tough to breathe. And tough to keep wondering if this is as good as it gets. But Trilogy has shown me that there's still beauty and breath to be had. Because with 3 medicines and 1 inhaler, Trilogy keeps my airways open. And with 1 dose a day, Trilogy improves lung function, so I can breathe more freely all day and night. Trilogy won't replace for sudden breathing problems. Tell your doctor if you have a heart condition or high blood pressure before taking it. Do not take Trilogy more than prescribed. Trilogy may increase your risk of thrush, pneumonia, and osteoporosis. Call your doctor if worsened breathing, chest pain, mouth or tongue swelling, problems urinating, vision changes, or eye pain occur. Ask your doctor about once daily Trilogy for COPD, because breathing should be beautiful.
What kind of water would help with these dry spots?
That's lung disease. Scott's Healthy Plus will cure it.
Lung disease?
Been going around.
So, like, other people have it and it's not.
Pick up a bag of the new Scott's Turf Builder Healthy Plus lawn food today. Here you go.
Life insurance is too important to put off another day. That's why Select Quote makes getting coverage you need easy. Now get up to a $2 million policy with no medical exam and same-day coverage.
Visit SelectQuote.com now.
So I'm Franklin Graham. As we watch the news, it feels like the whole world is filled and engulfed with hate. We see it on our college campuses. We see it across the world. Where did this come from? You see, hate is coming from the human heart. God made us and He created us, but sin has come to the world, and it's coming to each and every heart. And the only one who can fix the heart is God. And God did that by sending His Son, Jesus Christ, from heaven to this earth to take our sins. And He died in our place on a cross and shed His blood. He was buried. But on the 3rd day, He walked right out of that grave. That's right. Jesus Christ is alive. And my question is, have you ever invited Him into your heart? If you haven't done it, do it right now. Just say, God, I'm a sinner. I'm sorry. Forgive me. I believe Jesus is your Son. I want to trust Him as my Savior. I pray this in Jesus' name. If you prayed that prayer, call that number right now that's on the screen. God bless you.
My name is Dr. Zach. I'm a doctor of podiatric medicine. My name is Todd. I'm a paramedic firefighter. I've been on the job for 28 years. My name is Dr. Peter Munther. I'm a chiropractor in New York, Long Island. I've been taking Balance of Nature for 23 years. I love Balance of Nature, and this is definitely a product that I would recommend to other people. And I'll never stop taking it.
I make 70-year-old pictures, you know. As far as Balance of Nature goes, I'll keep taking this stuff until I die, you know.
I'm almost 55.
Let's save this.
Because I have so much vitality.
I got a bad feeling about this mission.
Great outdoors. Our bodies are kind of like machines. If you do not.
All right, we'll see you guys next time. All right, peace.
It's not going to work very well. Simple as that.
Start your journey with Balance.